Hello everybody, my name is Dano Don't Serve, and today I'm making an updated beginner's guide for Dungeon Heroes since we have some clarified information and bug fixes. I don't want to make this intro too long, so I'm just going to jump right in. So to start, I'm over here in the lobby. This is where you're going to spawn in when you join the game, and if we look straight ahead, we can see dungeons. If we run down these paths over here, the blue one will take us in, and the orange one will take us out. We can see we're passing by all the different dungeons, and we currently have 5, but with this week's upcoming update, we will have a 6th dungeon. We can join dungeons either by going down towards the dungeons, or we can click on the dungeons on the right side. Inside the dungeon screen, we can see we have 5 to choose from currently, but again, there's going to be a 6th one added soon. I'm going to click on the Shattered Forest, since this is where the beginners are going to start, and we can see we have different difficulties and player count. So difficulties are quite self-explanatory, it's just a matter of how hard the dungeon is. We have normal, medium, hard, and insane. Insane is the most difficult of the 4 options, but it also yields the most rewards. Completing an insane dungeon also allows you to roll boss pets for that dungeon, so if we were to complete an insane run of the Shattered Forest, we would not be able to roll the mini boss and the boss pets for the Shattered Forest in the pet chest. I'm not going to get into pets just yet, but I just wanted to let you guys know that, as that was something that was a little unclear in my last video. Below the difficulties, we also have player count, and this just means how many people can join your dungeon run. We can have up to 5, or we can go all the way down to 1. If I go all the way down to 1 and we click on start, we're just going to jump right into the dungeon and we can start immediately. Any higher than 1, and it'll pop up on the bottom left side of the screen, as we can see down here, and we can have up to 5 players join if that's what you set it to. Doing a dungeon run will give you loot, keys, armor, and weapons. If you also want to include it, we can also get Stardust, but that is aside from the direct loot that you get from completing a dungeon. So we get keys, and we also get gear. The gear you can preview as it scrolls by, and the number of keys that you get you can see right here, which I will explain in just a second. So I mentioned keys. Keys can be used for merging pets and for rolling skill crates. So for now, we're going to run over to the skills area, and this is where we can roll skill crates. As we can see, we currently have 5 skill crates, 1 for each dungeon, and we can see how much they cost. And again, you can get keys to open these by playing in dungeons. If we click on the Shattered Forest crate right here, we can see that we have 5 skills, all ranging from levels 1 through 15, and we also have a chance of rolling them in a different rarity. Levels and rarities will essentially determine the effectiveness of that skill. So if we hover over this Fireball skill, for example, we can see that this is a level 1 comet that I'm hovering over. For me, this would deal 4,642 damage to nearby allies. However, if this were a higher level and or a higher rarity, this would do more damage. I do want to put an emphasis on rarities. I find that rarities should be prioritized over levels first, and that's not to say that levels are not important, but rarities do have a very significant impact on the effectiveness of those skills. So once you roll the higher rarities, you might want to start focusing on getting those rarities, but at higher levels. So I also mentioned being able to use keys for merging pets, so we're going to head right over here to the pets area, go inside, and as we can see we have level up, merge, and pet decks. If we go over to the merge tab, we can see all my pets currently, and if we click on, let's say, Obsidian Knight pet, we can see that we can merge up to 5. So if I put in 5, we can now get this from a common to an uncommon, and this would cost us 12 keys. Now if I were to try to merge this uncommon Obsidian Knight pet to try to get it up to a rare, I would need 4 uncommon Obsidian Knight pets, and that goes on up until legendary. Inside the pets area, we can see level up, merge, and pet decks like I mentioned before. Inside of level up, these are all my current pets. So if we click on, let's say, this Blackbeard pet, we can level him up from 1 to 2 using 2 Stardust. And I will get to how to obtain Stardust in just a second. Leveling up pets will increase their health and damage. And currently, the max level for pets is 75, just like the player levels. So not only do we have level up and merge, but we also have the pet decks, which just shows you all the pets in the game. I mentioned Stardust before, so we're going to move on to Stardust. That's what this purple stuff is up here at the top right of your screen. So the only way that we can currently get Stardust is by selling items here in the lobby at the sell items area. We can see we can choose to sell equipment and pets. So for example, if I select this Frenzied Strike skill, we can sell this for 165 Stardust. You can also add in this skill and let's say this pet. In total, we will get 370 Stardust. I do want to let you guys know that the max amount of Stardust that you can currently get is 50,000 and the max amount of keys that you can get is 3,000. So any higher than that, you will not receive those keys and Stardust. So like I mentioned before, Stardust can be used to level up pets, but it can also be used for stat rerolling on your gear. So if we head over here into stat rerolls, we can choose from any of our gear in our inventory. So let's just select my Bewitched Branch Scepter, and we can see that my current stat tiers range from D to S, with D being the worst, and climbing all the way up to S, which is the best. So we can see here, if I were to reroll my scepter as is, it would cost 125 Stardust. However, we have lock icons here, so if I were to click on this one, our reroll cost now increases to 188. And the more that you lock, the more expensive it gets. So if I were to lock all 4 of my S tiers and only leave the B tier unlocked, it would cost 1,250 Stardust to reroll. When you reroll, if you like the stats that you received, please make sure to click Use New Stats. Don't click on Use Current Stats because that'll revert you back to the stats that you have on your weapon already, and you'll lose the roll that you just got. Now that I discussed stat rerolls, I brought up weapons and armor. We're gonna go into my inventory and I'm just going to explain something real quick to you guys. So like I mentioned, I'm using a scepter as my weapon, and this is a magic weapon. We can see that I have magic power. This means that I am best suited for magic abilities. Now, how do you know if your abilities are magic or not? The way to know is if you hover over that skill, underneath damage info, you can see the type of skill it is. So for this skill, Nature's Grasp, this is a magic skill, which means that it is best suited for magic weapons. If I were to put on a Drill Strike, this is a physical skill. It's not going to do much damage for me. If I put on a physical weapon such as the spear right here, and we hover back over this, we can now see that I deal 8,895 damage, as opposed to the 2,881 that I have with my magic weapon. Now, there are some skills that are not catered to one damage type only, such as this Call of the Wild skill that I have, which can be used for either magic or physical weapons. The stats for this ability do not change based on your weapon. So just to reiterate, please make sure that you're using the right skill types for your weapon. Don't try to mix and match physical with magic. It really hinders your potential. So I'm going to move on to quests. If we head over to the top left, it says quests, and we click on it, we can now see that we have daily quests. These reset every 24 hours, and it just tells us what we need to do in order to receive that reward. So for example, this collect keys quest right here, if I collect 200 total keys from dungeon runs, I will receive an additional 10 as a reward. If I defeat 50 Obsidian Knight enemies, which are in the Flaming Depths dungeon, I will receive a Dead Man's Cove Sandy Pet chest. I'm just going to quickly show you guys the shop. So the shop shows currently the Origins Aura chest, and these cost crystals. I didn't bring up crystals earlier because these are currently a paid only currency, so you need to spend Robux to get them, which you can find down here at the bottom or just by clicking on crystals inside the shop. So on top of shop, we also have daily items, and currently daily items only show cosmetic sets. I don't know if there will be anything else in the future, but as of right now, we can see that we get a cosmetic top and a cosmetic bottom, and these rotate out every 24 hours. But since there aren't too many cosmetic sets, we typically see some of the same ones every day. So hopefully I covered enough of the basics for you guys to understand. I'm going to show you guys my build real quick though, in case anybody was curious, as it's changed from my last video. I am using a legendary level 72 Bewitched Branch Scepter, since the Moss Crown Jungle, which is the current last dungeon, has not felt the need to give me a level 75 legendary, so I'm kind of stuck with this right now. I'm using a level 72 legendary chest plate, and I'm not going to go over the stats since you guys can already see them on the screen. So this is my scepter, this is my chest plate, and then I also have my pants, which are level 75 legendary. So now that I've shown you guys my gear, I'm going to show you guys my skills real quick. So I'm currently using a level 71 legendary Nature's Grasp, a level 19 legendary Frost Arc, a level 64 epic Call of the Wild, and a level 55 epic Meteor Storm skill. So that's my build, but you guys can modify it however you see fit. There's no one size fits all type of build. I don't care if you copy it. I just want to let you guys know that you don't need to use this build. You can use whatever you want. So that's all I have to show you guys today. Hopefully that was enough for you guys to understand and get a grasp of the game. If you need help with anything else, let me know down in the comments below. I might be able to either make a video about it or I can just explain it in a reply. Just let me know. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Bye!